Welcome, guys. So this is my second. Basically, this is the second module of the applied group theory in NYCU. But basically, I want to make some recording and also for the people, if you feel like that you don't understand what taught in the class, then you can just have some videos to watch. Also for my own memory. Okay. Okay. So what we are going to study in this video is in this few lecture is a group representation. And basically finite group. Focus on the finite group. So we will study like group rep and the character, and also the decomposition and the short lemma and the tensor products. And the most important words that you should learn in this video, learning this module, is irreducible representation. Okay, so this will be a small module, but you will take like sometimes that this can be taught in one semester, but I try to like make a squeezing so that maybe we can do in next 3 weeks. Okay, so I assume that you already have a lot of first module knowledge, so you know what the hell is finite group, right? So let me just tell you a key idea in a group representation is that we want to use linear algebra to study finite group. Probably this is most important as a physicist, right? Because you're a physicist or chemistry, and sometimes you're not deal with finite group abstractly, but you're deal with its representation. So the definition, the representation is a map from G to GLV. So this is homomorphism. So let me explain. So G is a finite group, and actually it's not. You can define as an arbitrary group, given group. And GLV is a general linear group, so it's all a linear transformation from V to V, and which is invertible. And we only consider finite representation, so we can define determinants. And actually, you can work on any finite any field, but usually we working with the complex field. And phi is called a representation of G. If you give me any phi, then this is called representation of G. And this is homomorphism, meaning that the phi of GH equals to phi of G, phi of H. And this is a matrix multiplication. Okay. So simply speaking, we view group. We basically the representation is very simple. Given the group G, we try to realize G using matrix. So simply speaking, we want to realize G using matrix because matrix is non-abelian, right? So it should have a lot of degree of freedom to absorb any finite group. Okay, so this is the definition, and it's a little bit abstract. So maybe we just see some examples. So there are lots of examples. So the first one, maybe I can consider, let's say G is a Z mod 4Z. So it's generated by, let's say, identity, right, and some 1, right, and yeah, you can maybe, let me just use U. Okay, so it's U square UQ. Okay, so we need to, so since it's homomorphism, right, so if I consider N to be 2, then this E should map into identity, which is 1 0 0 1. And for example, row of U, so maybe use 5. 5U can be, for example, 1 0 0 minus 1. Okay, and you just, if you 5u square will be 5u square, and maybe this, sorry, this is not this 0 0 minus 1 1. So if you square, then you can get minus 1 0 0 minus 1, and then if you compute the force, then you get 1 0 0 1. Okay, so this is a simple computation, but and 5u cube is 0 0 1 minus 1. So you can see that if you fix 5u, and then you can see that the rest of everything are fixed. Right? This is the property of group homomorphism. So this is exactly the one representation for dimension 2. Okay, so Z4, Z mod for Z as a 1 dimension, as a 2 dimension, as a 2 dimension, as one 2 dimensional rep. This is trivial example, and let's consider maybe another example, Z mod 60. So I use so I can say this is the generating by U, and the U to the 6 is identity. So I only need to determine phi of U, right? But let's consider n equals to 1. So meaning that phi of U is just a number A, and A to the 6 equals to 1, right? So for non-triviality, let's say if I can pick phi of U to be, let's say 2 pi I divided by 6. And I can pick K here, so K be either 0, 1, 2, 3, up to 5. So if I fix this, then phi of U to the n will, sorry, my phi of U to the s will be just exponential 2 pi I divided by 6 ks. Okay, and obviously that phi of 6 will be 1. So this means that I construct 0 to 6, 0 to 5. So there are 6 representations, one dimensional. So I have a 6 one-dimensional representation for Z mod 60. Okay, but sometimes you can see this is a trivial representation, right? So for every dimension, then I can pick, let's say, phi of the phi of G to be just identity for arbitrary G, or identity matrices. Then this is also a representation, but this is trivial, right? So we want to study something which is non-trivial, and classify it somehow like all non-trivial representation. So to do this, we need lots of some technical work. So now I use rho. So if I consider a representation here, then I say that rho G is rho is faithful if G is injective. So rho is injective. Okay, so this is very simple. This is just I want to ignore this kind of condition. I want to say that different G should map into different matrices. Okay, now I want to define a so-called equivalence. Equivalent meaning that I want to define if I give me 2 representations, because I want to study all the representation, right? So I want to say that if I give you, someone give me 2 representation, I want to say what do we mean by their equivalent. So rho 1 and rho 2 are equivalent. Equivalent if there is the invertible matrix P. Invertible matrix is P, let's say it's n dimension, such that rho 1 G equals to P rho 2 G, P inverse for any G. So basically just say that if you can find a changeable basis such that everything is a change, just every matrix is changeable basis, then obviously that they should be viewed as equivalent. Okay, so these are something we already definition. Okay, so now I want to claim that every matrix, every group, finite group has a faithful representation, and this also construct at least one representation of the group. So this is a theorem. So every finite G has at least one rep, one faithful rep. Which is finite dimensional. Okay, so this is the slightly non-trivial, but the proof is very simple. Proof is using the Cosi. Remember that in the finite group theory that we proved that G can be viewed as a subgroup of symmetric group, and order is the number of the group. So there is a very simple representation. So if let's say for every G, I can just label all the elements, right? G1 up to G. Now I define my vector space is a span of all this, so G1 up to GG. This is technically slightly incorrect, so I use E of G1. So E of GI is the basis which everything is 0, but only 1 on the GI position. Okay, so now I can construct the representation, right? Because now each G is a subgroup of symmetric group. So I can just permute, right? So for every G belongs to G, I just map into the permutation. So G acts on EGI will just permute. So it will permute into E of GGI. Okay, so this is so for each EGI I do permutation, so I can construct a matrix representation of this linear map, and this is a representation. Okay, so obviously that this is injective, right? Because this is subgroup of rotation, is a subgroup of a symmetric group. For every element, you will permute something, right? So it's definitely injective, and you can prove that this is basically also a representation. Okay, so hopefully you can see this is a representation. So maybe I can quickly prove it. Right? So if you take a G and H and apply on, let's say, EGI, then become E of GHGI. Okay, and this is the same as if I apply maybe this is rho of GH upon EGI. Now I want to say where this is the same as this. And this is E of HGI, right? So this is E of GHEI. Okay, so this is trivial. Okay, so for example, let's say if I want to if I can construct for example, a subgroup. For example, if I say G is a identity and 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, which is a isomorphic as a Z mod 3Z, which is subgroup of, I can view it as subgroup as 3, or you can view it as a symmetry of a triangle. Now I can define row 1, right? Row map to 1 will just be 0, 0, this. And I had to 1, 2, 3, right? So this is 1 map to 2, 2 map to 3, 3 map to 1. So you can write down the matrices, which is 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Okay, so to see this, you can see 1 map to 2, right? So if I have a matrix here, which is 1, 0, 0, 0, then it will map to 0, 1, 0. So this is 1 map to 2, and 2 map to 3, 3 map to 1 is also trivially, you can see this is true if you know the construction. And the 1, 3, 2 is 1 map to 3, and 3 map to 1, 2 map to 1. 1 map to 3, 3 map to 2, 2 map to 1. So 1 map to 3, so it should be here, and 3 map to 2. 3 map to 2 here, and yeah, so 2 map to 1. Okay, and you can also check this is exactly this guy's square. Okay, so this is because 1, 3, 2 is 1, 2, 3 square. Okay, so these are the simple group representation. So next so these are definition. And the next thing we will try to study is what do we want to basically given a G, finite group G. So we want to know that we want to know somehow like all representation of G. I mean, this is the goal, right? If you give me some group, I want to study all the representation of G, and this is somehow like slightly complicated. So we will need to develop some machinery to solve this. Okay, see you guys next video.